go to the lake of fire. But God, even in the midst of their self-destructive tendencies to destroy the United States, through all of it, God is working and God has a purpose. Because two of the accounts in the Bible that I believe right now are pertinent to America at this time in history is the Red Sea and Goliath. Because when you look at the Red Sea, Moses stood in front of the Red Sea. It looked like an impossible circumstance. We're not going to get across the Red Sea. The Egyptians are on our necks. We're all going to be destroyed. We're here at the Red Sea. Where is God? Where is God? Where is God? Then all of a sudden, when it is God's divine timetable, not according to man, not because man says to God, you got to do something, but God always shows up and always sets the stage for his glory. God simply said to Moses, raise your staff. Let me tell you, Moses had seen the power of God, but he had never seen the Red Sea separate. And when Moses simply, because he was a man of humility and God had prepared him, he lifted his staff. I don't know what that experience was like, but all of a sudden the Holy Spirit moved through that water and they separated into two large walls. And Moses is just looking at this going. And then all the people that are crying and complaining about Egypt, all of a sudden forget about Egypt and they're just like, holy cow. The other one is Goliath. Goliath, for 40 days, came down into the valley, and he taunted the armies of Israel. And understand, Goliath knew what he was doing. Goliath was not only taunting Israel, he was taunting their God, because Goliath was influenced by Satan. And Goliath looked at himself, just like Satan looked at himself in heaven as Lucifer. Goliath looked at himself, looked at his power, looked at his strength, and said, whatever puny human being you send out here, I'm going to crush him. Goliath was a man of war. He had killed many, many men before. And then all of a sudden, this little shepherd boy, who's 16 years old, comes out and looks at him. Goliath is like, what? But see, David looked at Goliath and he thought to himself, I'm going to kill you. Because it didn't matter the size of David. It was the God that David was serving. And see, I believe in all of my heart, as I pray over this country, that God is not done yet. And I would encourage every person, you might be somebody who says, what can I do when you look at the corruption, when you look at the deceit, when you look at Washington and you think to yourself, what can I do with all of this wickedness? I would tell you that prayer is far more powerful than you understand. And I would encourage you to pray. So